We're going to talk about creating projects and then managing those projects in JIRA. All right, so in this video, you're going to learn how to create projects and how to manage them within JIRA. So let's go ahead and take a look at the project view inside of JIRA. Now I've created an account, I've went ahead and authenticated, and now I'm looking at my project list. Okay, you can get to this by selecting projects in the left-hand menu. You can see here I have a first project and a second project. So we're going to select one of those. First we'll choose first project. This will bring us to our backlog view of the project. The backlog will store all of the stories and bugs and different issue types that we want inside this project. On the left, you'll see we have a few different options here. Now, first we have a search. Our search, we can click this, but we can also hit the / key on our keyboard and also bring up that. We've got some options here of filtering and looking at assignees, and we can talk about those in a second. We've got active sprints, which later on when we look at how we run a sprint, we can select this and get the board view for the current sprint. We've got reports, releases. When we do a release of a version, and we can take a look at those. Issues, which will let you do queries for different issues. Components, which are a grouping of work items. But we're going to go down here to settings. This is what we want to look at now. So we want to figure out how to manage this project in JIRA. Okay, you can see up here we've got our name, we've got a key, URL, the type of project that this is. We're going to stick with software. That's going to let us do Agile process like Scrum. We can categorize, we can select an image and description. We can also decide who is the admin on this project. And we can decide when we create a new item in the backlog, does it get assigned to the project lead, which would be in this case the admin, or would it be unassigned? We'll leave it as unassigned. That'll force us to do something with that later. There's a lot of options here on the left, but we're going to take a look at the summary because summary is going to give us a view of all of those different options. And what you're going to see under here is you're going to see things like issue types, workflows, the screens, the fields that are available on those screens, the versions, like we talked about, these would be your major and minor releases, the components, which allow you to group items together, the roles, currently I'm the only one assigned to anything, but if we had a team, you could list those here, permissions, right, so this is who can access these things, and then notifications. So JIRA will obviously notify people, like the person who's assigned to an issue, if that issue changes, or you can also become a watcher on an issue. And if that issue changes, then the watchers would also be notified. All right. So first, let's take a look at workflows so you can understand how workflows are. We'll go into more detail in the next section about workflows, but what you really need to understand here is this will control the way that the issues move from to do to in progress to done. And this allows you to customize the way that that works. If we take a look at screens for this project, you can see we're using a Scrum issue type. So this will allow you to select the items that appear on those different issue types, things like story points and assignees and acceptance criteria, etc., and things like that. Again, we'll go into this in more detail in the next section. You see this allows you to control the fields that are available. You can do things like set up components, right? We can create a component. We can call this component test. And this would now allow us to assign this component to different issue types. We can do things like set permissions, notifications. You can see when an issue is created, we're going to notify all watchers, the current assignee, and the reporter when an issue is updated, etc. And you can customize this. If you're one of those people that gets way too many emails already, you might want to slim this down a little bit so that you're really only being notified of the most important actions. Okay, so now we know how to create and manage our projects in JIRA. In the next video, we're going to take a look in more detail at these schemes, screens, workflows, and permissions.